Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the Los Angeles Lakers got the victory, 107-99, against the Dallas Mavericks at home. Luka revenge game complete. We got the W in the bag, as I did not have any doubt we would, but it did get a little close there. But I thought that in the last 5 minutes, superstars took over, man. They found ways of finding each other, and I love how we're utilizing LeBron James as a finisher, doing over-the-head passes to him in the paint. It was effective, and we were able to get several easy buckets down there in that regard with Luka finding Bron. So I'm relieved this game is over. As I figured it would be, Kyrie Irving and Klay Thompson gave us all we could handle. They really did. 35 points for Kyrie, 2 blocks, 3 steals, 4 assists, and 7 rebounds. Klay Thompson had 22, 1 steal, 1 assist, and 8 rebounds himself. 5 offensive rebounds for Klay Thompson, which is a lot. 5 of 10 from behind the arc for Klay. 5 of 11 for Kyrie. 12 of 27 from the field. 8 of 17. Kyrie, Klay, respectively. Yeah, man, this was tough. This was tough. PJ Washington had a very cold night. 0-9 from the field. 0-2 from behind the arc for 4 blocks, 1 steal, 5 assists, and 10 boards. Max Christie had 10 points, 1 block, 6 assists, 1 rebound, and a lot of getting blocked. He was trying to dunk on people, trying to lay the ball up, and his teammates know him. Rui blocked him. Several others did as well. It was a very tough night for Max Christie, as expected. 9 points for Najee Marshall, 1 block, 2 steals, 3 assists, and 5 boards. 1 of 5 shooting from the 3, 2 of 7 from behind the arc. Actually, that's backwards. 1 of 5 from the 3, 2 of 7 from the field. Spencer Dinwiddie had a pretty good shooting night early on. 2 of 4 from behind the arc, 3 of 8 from the field, 9 points, 1 block, 3 assists. Looked like he was going to have a bigger game than that, but we were able to kind of slow him down. Dante Exum, 3 of 9 from the field, 2 of 7 from the 3, 8 points, 1 assist, 3 rebounds there. So that's what happened with the opponent. Kessler Edwards also had 4 points, 3 rebounds. And Dwight Powell had 1 to 2 from the field, 2 points, 1 block, 5 rebounds, and 3 offensive rebounds there. Omax Prosper had 2 boards, 1 block. But your Los Angeles Lakers, the winners of this situation, we had some pretty good production, man. It got a little shaky, though. We did have some turnover issues down there. Kyrie and Klay kept hitting shots. We knew they were going to try to throw a monkey wrench in this thing, but ultimately they couldn't overcome Luka Doncic and LeBron James. Luka, 19 points, 2 blocks, 3 steals, 12 assists, and 15 boards. Triple-double came to play. With those big 15 boards, that was huge as well. 1 of 7 from behind the arc, 6 of 17. Didn't shoot well. Wasn't surprised by that too much. But he helped his team in so many other areas. And look at the defensive stats. I mean, that's fantastic, man. LeBron James, 27 points, 6 turnovers, 1 steal, 3 assists, and 12 boards. And he shot better, 11-17 from the field, 2 of 4 from behind the arc. So he did have a better shooting night than our guy Luka. But together they came together to be hellacious and very difficult to defend. Of course, Austin Reeves chipped in big too. 20 points, 5 assists, 3 boards, 5 of 12 shooting from the field, 3 of 8 from behind the arc. Got to the line 8 times, missed only 1 free throw. So we definitely love that he chipped in big. And then, of course, Rui Hachimura, 15 points, 2 blocks, 6 rebounds, 6 of 12 shooting from the field, 2 of 6 from behind the arc. He was also extremely helpful on both sides of the floor. I thought Rui's defense was really strong as well. You got to give credit to some of these guys, man. Since we've traded Anthony Davis, some of our players have really improved defensively. And it shows, man. Austin, Rui, Jackson Hayes, those guys have been defending their heads off. So give them credit for that. Jackson Hayes, 8 points, 2 blocks, 8 rebounds, 4 or 5 from the field. Extremely, extremely good tonight in 17 minutes of play. Kept getting fouled for lobs. He's just doing a great job of finishing, rebounding the ball. His rim protection has gotten significantly better since AD has moved on. And I've been very pleased with him over the last several games. Finding ways to contribute blocking shots. So he's been good. Dorian Finney-Smith, 1 of 6 from the field, 0 of 3 from behind the arc. Very bad shooting night for Dodo, but ultimately he filled up the box score pretty well. 2 blocks, 2 steals, 2 assists, and 8 boards, 4 offensive rebounds. You know, you can't put a price tag on that type of production from your role guy. Even though the shooting wasn't there, he found other ways to help his team. Vanderbilt, 8 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 of 3 from behind the arc, 3 of 5 from the field, 14 minutes of play. The 2 of 3 from the 3-point line is very, very, very essential for us. Dating back 2 years, we've had issues wondering if we can keep him on the floor, if he can hit that corner shot or not. And he has done a great job of hitting that shot for us this evening. So we definitely want that to continue. Just 14 minutes to play. They still got him on minutes restriction, but I thought he really played well a good portion of this game. Gabe Vincent, 1 of 6 from the field, 0 of 4 from behind the arc, 2 points, 1 steal. I don't know where the shot making is, but I hope it comes back soon. And that's really all I got to say about that. Jordan Goodwin, 0 of 2 from the field, 0 of 1 from behind the arc, 1 point, 1 block, 2 rebounds. Most of that was done in the first half. He only had 6 minutes of play. You can always feel comfortable giving him more minutes. He's going to do a lot of good stuff down there. And Dalton Connect, 2 of 5 from the field, 1 of 4 from behind the arc, 5 points, nothing else accredited. He was really bad defensively, really bad defensively. And it got to a point where I was telling our coach, okay, get him off the floor because he's getting cooked. 10 minutes of play. That's the only thing about Dalton, man. His defense is poor. He's going to have to work on that significantly over the next couple years if he's going to really play up his value in this league and be somebody that can really be on the floor for any length of time, because if he's not hitting shots, he is so bad defensively at this point that he's unplayable. And that's what I saw tonight. Just unplayable basketball player on the defensive end. So that's your production for the Los Angeles Lakers in the box score. Your team stats. 44% from the field, 39 of 87. 27% from the 3, 11 of 40. 40 attempts and only hitting 11 of them is not the greatest thing in the world. Nah, that's not great. 18 to 24 from the free throw line. Don't love that either. 75%. We got to be better there. Your rebounding total was great, though. We crushed the short-handed Dallas Mavericks, 57-45 on the boards, but we got 13 offensive rebounds, but ultimately they had 14. So that's too many offensive rebounds, giving up second chance points to a Dallas Mavericks team without a lot of centers. That's not good. You give up 5 offensive rebounds to Klay Thompson, that's a problem. We had 24 assists to their 23. Both teams had 7 steals. Our team had 8 points. Dallas had 11, blocks. Dallas had 11. And the Lakers had 14 turnovers. Only 8 points conceded off of those turnovers. You gotta love the transition defense the Lakers played tonight, ultimately keeping them out of getting points away from those turnovers. They had 12 turnovers, 10 points conceded off of that. We had 20 fast break points to their 13, and we did win in the paint 52-34. With our largest league being 16, although we allowed them to cut it all the way basically to 1 at one point. So I thought in our second half wasn't great. We did find ways of, keeping them off of us more or less, especially in the last 5 minutes with our superstars basically taking over and our defense really speaking for itself. But I thought we had a much better first half. The Lakers had 28-20 in the first half, first quarter rather, then 31 points for both teams in the second quarter. We only scored 19 points in the third to their 26, and then 29 points for ourselves to their 22. So we got it together in the fourth quarter, but that third quarter was not pretty, man. So, that's really what I got to say. I thought this game was fun. I thought this game had a lot of energy, but what I was concerned about ultimately came to pass, and that was Kyrie and Klay Thompson, great NBA champions, finding ways of contributing in massive ways that ultimately put our team in a position to have a closer game than we were hoping to have. Plus, the officiating really left us frustrated as well. Some of the non-calls and the things they did choose to call, and giving Luka the technical in the first quarter, just left a bad taste in my mouth personally. It took kind of a ton of the fun out of this game, to be honest with you. But ultimately, it was all about us getting a victory. And we took care of business. This is a very short-handed Dallas team. I was very happy to see AD get his, I guess you could say, ceremony. And at some point in time, they did have a video tribute for him. I thought it was classy. I thought it looked great. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to compete since he's dealing with his injury, but I'm sure we'll see him in the next one. And I think that's going to be on the 9th of April. But it was good seeing him out there, man. But, it's one of those situations where it leaves you concerned. This game did. because you were fully healthy. They were lacking like 5 centers and still had an opportunity to beat you. So you know that this matchup isn't necessarily your greatest matchup. When you see how hard they played with their most of their players that they have out. So this is a matchup that leaves me a little nervous because you want Luka to be able to overcome this Dallas Mavericks team, but I don't know that we're actually constructed to beat them in a 7-game series after watching this basketball game. So that's my concern. That's why I'm not as thrilled about this game as maybe I would like to be, because I just wonder what our team's Achilles heel ultimately is, and I'm curious to see if Dallas is not one of those teams that we probably have problems with if we had to see them in the playoffs. So you made it overcome the Denver Nuggets, but this team was lacking Lively, Gafford, AD. Like, that's a lot of rebounds, a lot of points, a lot of easy buckets for them. And if they can get this out of Kyrie and Clay, this is all we got. What we did tonight, this is our team. This is what we have to use. So it's like, that's concerning to me with the lack of depth that we have. I love that our team was able to get this victory, but it was not very encouraging in how it ultimately transpired. It just leaves me concerned about the matchup ultimately, for which I think we could very well see them in the playoffs. We very well could. It's good that we tied up this season series. We only see them 3 times, so that next game will be a determining factor on who wins this season series, since we dropped that inexplicable game earlier in the year where they didn't have any of their stars and still found a way to beat our Lakers by like 20-something points. That was very embarrassing. It was good to get this victory tonight. But, yeah, we're looking at the standings here. The Los Angeles Lakers are in 4th place, as we were at the beginning of this game, tied up with the Houston Rockets, who did win their basketball game against the Milwaukee Bucks tonight. So we're 35-21. They are 36-22. Both teams are 10.5 games behind first place. I don't think we'll be catching OKC, but with us both 2 games behind Memphis and Denver, this is going to be a tight race to the end. Clippers are 5 games behind all of us here at 31-26, and we will see them twice after we play the Timberwolves next on Thursday. And the first game of that Clipper series will be a back-to-back. So it's Minnesota, and then, if I'm not mistaken, Minnesota Thursday, Clippers Friday, Clippers Sunday. I think that's how that works. So, yeah, all of those games will be home games for your LA Lakers, so that's extremely encouraging. Not to say that we have to go too far to play the Clippers anyway, but we've already been into a dome twice, so they got to play us now here twice back-to-back. So, yeah, that's what it is, man. Hopefully we can get some victories. This is a semi-tough scratch, depending on how good these teams play against us. And I'm encouraged on a 3-game winning streak, but this game, based on how our performance was, just kind of sent us back to a space where we feel a bit more human than we did against Denver after that matchup. So that's kind of how I feel. I feel vulnerable in the sense that we still got a lot to overcome in order to find ourselves as great as we hope to become. And this game somewhat exposed what potentially could be a problem for our unit. But all in all, we played a good game, man. We've won 8 of our last 10 games. We're on a 3-game winning streak, as I already stated. We're continuing to climb. We're within striking distance of the 2nd and 3rd spot, which is really fantastic considering where we were just a month and a half ago when we were losing all those games. The Texas 2-step that we were talking about, where we couldn't get a victory, dropping games against Orlando at the free throw line, getting mollywopped by Miami and Detroit and stuff like that. To see where we're at right now, and to see the trade that was made and just the overall moves that this team has made to make our team better, it's unbelievable. It's absolutely encouraging in that regard. So, now we move forward, play the Minnesota Timberwolves, a very good basketball team that's going to give us a lot of trouble. They just came off of a very impressive victory against the OKC Thunder, where they finally discovered that their young players can actually play. That's exactly what happened there. I watched highlights of that particular game right before this one, and I have more highlights to watch of the Minnesota Timberwolves leading up to that victory that I'm hoping we will get against them. The thing about Minnesota that we need to understand is we have not scored a lot of points against them in the 3 matchups that we've seen them in. The first game we won think it was the first game of the season. The next game, we only scored like 81 points against them. And then the other game, we scored like 80 points against them. So we have a real problem with their defense stifling who we were before we made the trade. Now that we've made this trade, it's probably an entirely different thing. But the point is, going into that Minnesota matchup, we need to understand that we have not scored a reasonable amount against this basketball team pretty much all season long. So we overcame the mental and the emotional games. We won those emotional games. We beat the Denver Nuggets for ourselves. We beat the Dallas Mavericks for Luka. Now we got to get back to the business of Laker basketball as it pertains to, we have a tough stretch ahead. Minnesota, Clippers, New Orleans, New York, Boston, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Denver. These are the type of games we're going to be seeing over the next, say, 12 games, and we have to be above 500 in that process in order to maintain our seeding. So there's no guarantees anymore, man. We had the weak stretch of games is behind us. No more Utahs, Charlottes, none of that crap. We got real teams ahead, and it's going to be a test to not only see if we can gel and find ways of winning these games, but to see if we can dominate and find ourselves ahead in the standings, or if we'll drop some of these games and find ourselves kind of fighting into the play-in tournament, and that is a nightmare for our basketball team. So still a lot of games left, man. I think we got 27 games left. This has been a good month for your team. We've only lost 2 games in the month of February. 2 games in Utah and Charlotte, that's it. And so we just got to finish it out strong here against Minnesota and the Clippers. And I think it's going to be tough, man. Anytime you have to go up against Anthony Edwards and Naz Reid and those guys, it's going to be a hard-fought matchup. So I don't want to overlook these next several games that are not as emotional as the last 2. Just because we won these last 2 games does not mean that we've won a championship or nothing. Our goal is still set. Our head is still clear. I'm glad we overcame those games, but there's more to do here, and that's really what it comes down to. The game ball for me, it's tough, man, because I thought our superstars played great, but neither one of them were perfect in their own way. Of course, you want to give the game ball to probably Luka the Don, just off the strength of overcoming the team that he beat. So I give it to him just off the strength of that. The team that traded him away, and the whole process of just having to face them, wake up this morning knowing that you're not a Maverick, that you have to beat the Mavericks. It's tough, man. And that he didn't shoot well, but still managed to get a triple-double, still managed to defend extremely well, and have that show up in a box score. Only 2 turnovers tonight. I think the game ball should go there. I do. I think the game ball should go there. But kudos to everybody who really chipped in strong in this game. I love what I saw from us on the defensive end. Once again, we're continuing to do great things. Held this Mavericks team under 100 points. That's fantastic. Also held, if I'm not mistaken, the Denver Nuggets to 100 points. So when you consider that type of thing, our defense is holding up. It's legitimate, and it's contender worthy if we keep it up. So it's all good, man. It's all good. The Los Angeles Lakers are a very fun basketball team to watch right now. They're playing great defense all the way around, and hopefully we can find a way to score against this Minnesota Timberwolves team. That's what it really comes down to. I'm looking past the game we just won. I understand how emotional it is, but we're on the bigger and better things at this point. I hope that Luka found some closure tonight. Seemed like he had good rapport with his teammates. Anthony Davis, we were able to thank him. That's behind us now. All of that is behind us. We will see Dallas again, and we will have an emotional night there. But right now, we just got to play a bunch of neutral teams that want to knock our head off. We're probably going to give us their best because they expect that we're going to be one of the best teams going forward. So, all the emotional stuff out the window now. It's business time for Luka and LeBron. The chemistry needs to continue to be built. We still need to put in the effort that we've been putting in, and we have to continue to understand that health is everything for us, so we got to take care of ourselves out there. So that's really what it is, man. Congratulations to Luka on beating the Dallas Mavericks. Congratulations to the Lakers for overcoming the Denver Nuggets, and now it's time for real basketball right there. So that's pretty much what I got to say. I appreciate everybody for watching BDL 44. I'm out.